So the LeetCode problem we are going to solve now is called network delay time. This is a pretty popular LeetCode problem. So let's understand the statement. Basically, we are given a network of n nodes marked from 1 to n. So in total, we are given three items. First one is times, that defines that in order to reach from one particular node to next node, how much time it takes. So if we take a look at this example, let's say 2, 1, 1, then we can say that in order for us to reach from node number 2 to node number 1, it is going to take 1 unit of time. So this is how bunch of different times we are given. Then we are given told k as a starting point, and that says that we will have to start iterating over our journey from k is equal to 2. So in this case from second node, and this n defines the total number of nodes that we currently have. Now the problem is asking us to solve is that we need to return the minimum time it takes for us to travel all the n nodes to receive the signal. And if it is not possible for all the n nodes to receive the signal, then we need to return -1. So let's try to understand this with an example. Say for an example, in this case, we are given an input like this. So we can see that in total, we are dealing with 4 different nodes, and we are given 3 different edges. So first edge is from node 2 to node number 1, it takes 1 time. Same way from node 2 to node number 3, it takes 1 time. And same way from node number 3 to node number 4, it takes 1 time in order for us to reach. Now we are given k is equal to 2, which means starting from k, we will have to make sure that are we able to send a signal that reach every single node, and what time it takes for to reach all the nodes in the minimum. So during the very first minute, we will have a signal that can go to node number 1 and node number 3. So we can say that these two nodes would have been visited after 1 minute. And then from node number 3, we still have to visit node number 4. So we can say that in order to reach node number 4, it is going to take 1 more minute, which means it took 1 minute to reach over node number 3, and then 1 more minute to reach to node number 4. So in total, it took us 2 minutes to reach to node number 4 and 1 minute to reach to node number 1 and 3. So in the minimum time 2, we can reach or a signal can reach every single node starting from node number 2. So this is what the problem statement is asking us to return. Let's say in this case, instead of 2, if we are being told that our k starting value is at 3. So in this case, now we are starting our iteration from value number 3. So once again, we will have to check that how many nodes can we reach. So we know that in the k3 only points to one node. So during the first minute, we would visit node number 4. But the thing is, we don't have any way for the signal to visit to node number 2 and node number 1. So in this case, we will have to return -1. So this is the whole problem statement. Now let's say that this is the input we are currently given, and we are trying to deal with that how we can actually find the network delay time starting from any particular node. The thing is, we don't know that what node we are going to be starting our code with, but all we have is the information about the total number of nodes that are currently present and the distance it takes in order to reach from one particular node to other particular node. The logic is quite straightforward. We treat this one as a classical graph problem where starting from any particular node, we will try to see that if there exists a shortest distance that can cover all the nodes that are currently present. If we are able to reach to all the nodes, then we will have to check that which is the farthest node and how much time it took us to reach to that particular level. Let's try to understand this with this example, that we were starting our node at node number 2, and it took us 2 minutes to reach to node number 1. Then the amount of time it takes to reach to this node number 3 and node number 1 is obsolete, because we are only concerned about the minimum time it takes to reach to every single node, and that should be our key focus. So few assumptions we can make is that number 1, we can use this as a graph problem. This one is going to be the Dijkstra's problem, that in order to reach us to the shortest minimum span, and I don't know the spelling of Dijkstra, so sorry about that, and no worry. Now coming back to the question, basically we need to, number one thing is, have a graph like structure. So what I'm suggesting is we create some sort of an adjacency list or adjacency matrix kind of a structure. So let's say that we do create an adjacency matrix or a hash map that contains all the information related to nodes and what are all the different distances that we can travel from those nodes. Now we all know that what are the different edges it takes us from any particular node that we can iterate over. So because we are given the information in this fashion, like x, y and t, where x and y are the nodes and t is the amount of time it takes to reach there. So we can just simply take this x, put it in the node section. So this would be the key for us to search inside our hash map. And this y and t defines that in order to, let's say that in order for from x, we can have an information like this one, that y and 1. So we can say that the node is x. If we have to reach to y, it takes us 1 time. So let's try to build a graph like that for all the nodes that are currently present in this case. But the thing is, we are also going to do one thing smarter, and that is that instead of just pointing out the nearest neighbor any particular node can visit, we will also try to sort these values based on the shortest value first and the longest value later. Why are we doing that? Because we are trying to, we have two objectives. Number one objective is to reach to all the nodes, and second objective is to do it in the minimum time. So we will have to find the quickest route possible. Next objective is that we will have to iterate over all the nodes that are currently present. So we are going to fulfill all of these goals by making some adjustments in the way we do our calculation. So for that, first let me just set up the graph structure that I'm suggesting, and then we will start tackling over the other problems. Now in this case, we are only dealing with 4 nodes. So starting with node number 2, we have two options. If we have to reach to node number 3, it takes us 2 times. So it makes sense that this is the shortest distance. So we can mark the values as, in order to reach to node number 3, it takes 2 times. And in order to reach to node number 1, it takes 3 times. So we are going to mark things like this. Same way, starting at node number 3, once again we have two options. In order to reach to node number 4, it takes us 3 times, and same way in order to reach to node number 1, it takes us 6 times. Same way, from node number 1 we only have one option, and that is in order to reach to node number 1, it takes 5 times, and from node number 1 we don't have any option. So at the node number 1, we basically just don't have any edges that are going out, so we will not mark anything. Now we knew that these are the 4 edges that we will have to traverse over. Next thing is that we also need to keep track that what are the nodes that we have visited so far. And also the other thing is, we need to know that is the node visited if that is the shortest distance that we found so far. Now in order to tackle both of this problem, what I'm suggesting is we create a new array that is of size n. So we will have values like this one, like 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. But the thing is, in this case we are only dealing with nodes starting from 1 to n, so not from 0 to n. So the thing is, for the very first value inside the array, we are just going to ignore this one. Okay, so let's say that we ignore this, and initially we will set this array up to a very large value. So let's say that we are populating the entire array with the maximum value possible, and then the only time we will update this array is, number one, if we find out a path to reach to that particular node by some smaller value, and number two, if we cannot find that, in the end it would be able to show us that there are some nodes we are not able to reach, so we can just return -1 in those cases. So let's try to start iterating over our solution now. It would make much more sense. Let's say that in this case our given k is equal to 2. We are starting our iteration from node number 2. So what is the minimum time it would take us to reach to all the nodes? Now from at node number 2, we can see that the very first possibility is that if we have to reach to node number 3, then we can do it in 2 times. Currently node number 3 has not been visited. So we found a shorter way to visit node number 3. So we will mark it by 2. And then same way we are going to ignore or pop this case out from our given list. Basically we are dealing with a priority queue or a hash map like a structure. So inside the hash map we will add the value number 3, but we will pop out this value from the priority queue. Now from this node number 3, once again we are going to repeat the same process. And by the way, currently inside the priority queue we only have these two values present. So first value was 3 2 and second value was 1 3. Now we add one more value, that is the value 4 3. So now notice that we popped one value out, and we have two more values that we will have to deal with. Okay, and we would keep on iterating in terms of priority queue, and we would always try to find the shortest distance that we will try to kick out. In this case, both values are 3. So let's say that we decide to update node number 1 first. So in order to reach to node number 1, we can do it in 3 times. So let's mark this one. Now once again, at node number 1 we don't have anything, so we cannot add anything to our priority queue. Then we are located at our node number 4. So sorry, node number 3. So at node number 3 we added one value, that is 4 3, and we also have to add one more value, that is 1 and 6. So for the 4 3, currently 4 has not been visited, so we would mark value number. In this case we would not mark value number 3. Why? Because in order to reach to node number 3, it took us 2 times, so we will have to do the sum with 2. So in order to reach to node number 4, it is actually going to take us 5 times, so we are going to mark 4 and 5. And same way, if we have to follow this path and reach to node number 1, then it would have taken us 8 times. So we are going to mark this as 1 and 8 inside our priority queue. And this is the important step where we are updating the total number it takes in order to reach to that particular node based on the previous value we had in order to reach to that node. So in this case, once again, the node for 4 has not been visited, so we will update it by value number 5. But notice that this 1 8 does not need to be updated, because we already know that we can reach to 1 in 3 times. Then why would we choose a path that reaches 1 in 8 times? So we will ignore this one. And then now we are at value number 4. So from 4 we have one more path then we can go in order to reach to node number 1, and this takes 5 times. So if we choose that, then it becomes 5 plus 5, so 10. But the thing is, we still don't need to update because we already have value number 3. Now the thing is, because we are starting from k is equal to 2, which means from k is equal to 2, in order to reach to k is equal to 2, it is only going to take 0 time. So we should have updated this at the beginning. So I forgot to update, but let me just do it right now, that in order to reach to k is equal to 2, we can do it in 0 times. And now we can see that we are done with our entire iteration. Our priority queue has to be empty because we took care of all the nodes, and we are left with this array. Now in this array, all we need to do is we need to iterate over all the nodes. Ignore the first node because we are only concerned with between 1 to n nodes. Check that if we found at any particular moment any value that was the original max value that we started with. If that is the case, then we can simply return -1, saying that there were few nodes that we were not able to reach. If we don't find any value with -1, we are going to find that what is the maximum value we have in this current array, and currently the maximum value is 5. So we can say that 5 is the minimum number of time it takes for a signal to reach to every single node starting from k nodes, and this is what we can return. So this is a beautiful solution. It has a lot of practical application like aviation industry, network routing industry. All the things use methods like this in order to compute that what is the shortest distance to travel from one point of the plane to the other point of the plane, which is pretty awesome and pretty nice. Now let's try to understand the time complexity. Now it makes sense that we will have to do big O of n multiplied by v work for every single node, and at every single node we will have to check that what is the shortest distance. For that we will have to add those entries inside our priority queue. So it is going to be multiplied by logarithm of n, and this is a pretty decent solution where n is the total number of nodes and v is the total number of vertices. And sorry, not vertices, but this should have been edges, so n multiplied by e. If we look at the space complexity, well, we are using quite number of additional data structures. We are using a graph like data structure to store all the values. We are using a priority queue. We are using bunch of different pointers and stuff like that. So overall, the biggest one is the graph like structure, that is big O of once again vertices multiplied by edges. So this is going to be the space complexity that we would be dealing with. So now let's quickly see the coding solution for this one. So the very first thing we are going to do is that we are going to create a graph-like representation using an adjacency list. And for that we are using a hash map to store the nodes as integers and its subsequent edges as the linked list type of structure. We are simply iterating over every single edges. We are marking the very first node that we currently have as part of a key, and then the second value and the third value is being represented as the edge and the time it takes to reach to that particular level. Then we are initializing a new priority queue where this is going to be a min heap, and we are going to be checking that what is the minimum amount of time it takes to reach to any particular node. Then we are going to be adding the very first value as saying that in order to reach to node k, it takes 0 amount of time, and this would be the starting point for our min heap or priority queue. Next thing is that we will have to initialize the distances of an array with the starting value as maximum value. So we create a new array starting with n plus 1 nodes, plus we fill out all the values that we currently have with the maximum value possible, and the value at the kth position. In order to reach to kth distance, we mark it as 0 because it takes 0 amount of time to reach to node number k. Now then our priority queue iteration starts, that while the priority queue is not empty, number one thing we are going to do is pop out the very first element that is present inside the priority queue, mark the current node with the very first value inside the priority queue, and the current distance in order to reach to that node as the second node of the tuple. Then we are checking that if the current distance is greater than the current distances that we have already found, then which means we can simply ignore that case and we don't need to do anything with that particular node. But if we don't have calculated or we found some value that is smaller, then we are going to check that what are all the neighbors for that particular node, and we are going to be marking all of those neighbors in our graph like data structure and adding those to the priority queue. On top of it, we are going to be updating the distance that we need to calculate by adding the current distance plus the new distance that we found in order to reach to that particular neighbor. So this way we are continuously updating all the values we can inside our array. Lastly, all we need to check is that inside the new maximum distance array that we have created, that we need to check that in the given array, what is the maximum value we currently have. Notice we are skipping the very first element inside the node because we are starting from n is equal to 1 index, not 0th index. And then we can simply check that if we found that the maximum distance to be the maximum value possible, then we need to return -1. If that is not the case, then we simply return whatever the maximum distance we found inside the array. So let's try to run this code. Hopefully it should be working. Seems like our solution is working as expected. Let's submit this code. And our code beats almost 70% of all the other solutions, which is pretty great and pretty awesome. So once again, you can find the coding solution for this problem in our GitHub repository. Link is in the description. Take care.